Let's go. I'm ready.
Well, it's good morning for me, but it's good afternoon for you, Sarah Jack. Welcome to Yellow Shelf.
Thank you, Joanna. Good afternoon. I'm really excited to get to talk about my podcast with you today. Thrilled to be on Yellow Shelf. I love your catalog of episodes, and I love getting to hear from a variety of podcast hosts and authors. So thanks for
Yeah.
doing the work you're doing.
Oh, look, and you're going to give me variety today. Your podcast, you've got a couple of podcasts, but you have a fascinating podcast that I've been watching from afar, listening. And I know you've recently kind of rebranded the name. The name of the podcast is The Thing About Witch Hunt. Tell us all about it. What do we need to know? This is a super interesting podcast.
Thank you. So, what I'm about to tell everyone might sound a little unbelievable, but witch hunts never actually ended. They're still happening today. It wasn't just Salem. And myself, Sarah Jack, and my co-host, Josh Hutchinson, are descendants of Salem witch trial participants and victims. And we have these two podcasts about witch hunts. And the thing about witch hunts is the global look at witch hunts over time and across the world. And the thing about Salem, we just launched this month, and that is a weekly podcast devoted to one thing about Salem every week. So we're going to be talking specifically about Salem, which is everybody's, go to what's a witch hunt? That's where they
Yeah.
start. So we're going to be there in that space talking about it.
Fabulous. And look, this is fascinating. I I mean this you obviously focus on historical witch hunts, and like you mentioned, this modern day witch hunt is still real.
It is. There are witchcraft accusations against people today in every culture, in every community, and a lot of communities, not every community, but across all continents. And it's not because they identify as witches, although witch identifying can cause persecution. That's a religious persecution. We're talking about just individuals who are vulnerable in their family or community, and they get blamed for causing a curse or causing something evil they're probably not even expecting to be named. And if that sounds kind of like the Salem witch trials, it's because it really is a good example of a human behavior that is fundamental in our communities. We fear evil.
Yeah. And tell us, I'd love you to share a bit about you and how you got started. There's more than 200 episodes like you've been doing this an awfully long time. So do you want to share about what inspired you to start the podcast and any work you do around that?
Yes. So I do have a nonprofit called End Witch Hunts, and our mission really is to participate in the education around what this is, what are modern day witch hunting violent scenarios. There's a lot of other organizations across the world addressing this, and there are people on the ground saving lives, and we really wanted to be a part of that. Here in the United States, there wasn't anybody speaking around that space. But the reason that I'm particularly passionate about this is because Rebecca Nurse, a character that people might be familiar
Yeah.
with from The Crucible,
Yeah.
she was a real woman, and she was my ninth great grandmother. And she's just one of four of my great grandmothers that were in the colonial courts. Joanna, I'm going to wipe my nose just real quick.
Yeah,
I just
you're
saw
right.
that
I mean, that's fascinating. Please do. That's
yeah.
fascinating. I mean, I'd love you to share how discovered this history and then tell us about, yeah, tell us anything we need to know.
Sure. So I discovered it through genealogy research, and the Salem witch trials, there's information there. There's memorials. It's not hard to find out more about it. But I did discover that I had a woman in my family tree who stood witch trial in Connecticut. And that was really the beginning of this journey for me because the Connecticut witch trials are not widely known about. There's no group memorial. And until 2023, there had not been an exoneration or an apology from the state for those women. And I started working on that with a very big collaboration of people from across the world, some descendants, some Connecticut uh, members of their one of our friends who worked on it for 20 years was a retired policeman, Tony Grigo. So we all got together, found some legislators that were really interested in, hey, let's acknowledge this thing that happened here and take care of it once and for all. So Connecticut's exoneration was a historical move because it named everybody known by the state at once and said, we're really sorry this happened. And it was actually considered an absolution. And if you want to know more about the particulars, you can go to my podcast because we talk about
Yeah.
all the particulars. But that move of the exoneration was really important to advocates in other parts of the
Yeah.
world when the United States or other countries take a stand for vulnerable people, whether it's happening now or something that wasn't right in the past. It's something that they can look to as an example.
Yes.
So we were a role model with that. And unfortunately, there are women, sometimes men and children, who find themselves in this situation today. And so we want to raise awareness about it. Our podcasts are interesting. They're interview style or discussion style. Lots of experts, over 100 experts have been on,
Yeah.
legal experts, authors. So it's really a great collection of conversations around the Salem witch hunts and other witch hunts.
Yeah, and you and Josh do a great job as co-hosting the show. It's lots of great guests, lots of great topics. Um, Tell us, if we're curious, Sarah, how do we connect with you? I know you've got a fabulous website. I will put this in our show notes. How do we connect with you and the different podcasts you've got? What's the best way to connect?
Sure. Well, I do love to connect with listeners personally. Thanks, LinkedIn. That's how we connected. But,
Yes.
anywhere, because this work is about building community. That's
Yeah.
podcasting work, but also social justice is about building community. So please do reach out. You can connect with me on X or Blue Sky at Resting Witches. And then on LinkedIn under Sarah Jack, the thing about witch hunts and the thing about Salem, they're on YouTube. We have websites. AboutSalem.com gets you to the thing about Salem. WitchHuntShow.com gets you to the thing about witch hunts. And we also have a Patreon community that we're building. So we launched that with the thing about Salem. So we're putting extra goodies on there, editing pictures and just some fun stuff. So, and that's free to join. So we'd
Yeah.
love to people to come find the thing about Salem on Patreon.
Yeah. Ah, look, thank you so much for sharing. You would be surprised at, like myself, people around the world are going to be curious, and it's very much appreciated that you shared your podcast, both podcasts, with us today. All the best, Sarah. Thank you so much. Have a
Thank
great
you.
afternoon.
Thank you, Joanna.
Cheers.